So Auntieways.
So Auntieways.
So Auntieways.
Girl, what's the tea?
So Auntieways. So Auntieways. So Auntieways. So Auntieways.
Girl, I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
read.
that theme
What's
music.
the tea?
Woo!
So
Cow,
Auntieways.
honey.
Ooh, okay, it's so good I can barely
Still
hear it.
dancing.
So
My God.
Auntieways.
Gonna do the wop.
Ooh. Oh, let me tell you, bitch. Oh, anyway, listeners, you
The
are
Roger Rabbit.
the Roger Rabbit, honey.
Cat
Yeah.
Patch.
The Roger Ebert. What happens basically? You let your
or the-
jaw fade away on the dance floor.
Or when you dance so hard, you get that weird case of rabies, and it's the Roger Rabbit.
The Roger Rabbit, bitch. Ooh, she's so
Honey.
good. She's
Ooh.
foaming, honey.
Oh,
Yes. Well, welcome to the premiere edition of the So Auntieways podcast. I am Mike Diamond.
this is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.
And just like that guy behind the dumpster at Piggly Wiggly told me, this is going to be raw. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going
How is Sloth from the Goonies doing?
you know, he's all right. Oh, you know what's so funny? He's going to come up later in this episode.
Oh,
Okay.
To be honest, it's so funny. And I don't want to call him Sloth, please. You're talking about my husband.
trust.
Anyway, I don't know if I said this or not, but this is Mike Diamond.
And this is Miss Matinga.
And of course, second time, Booby.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Like, yeah,
somebody-
2 times, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, here's a question for y'all.
Mm.
Do we want to time this episode using Matinga's little Siri time clock? Because I'm thinking, like, let's keep it much like myself, a tight 35.
Hello, Bernadette.
Yes. Well, that's our new saying. Instead of hello, Roz, it's hello, Bernadette.
Hello,
But I want-
Bernadette.
But I want to point out, and hello, Bernadette, but I want to point out again, we're going to pay the comments noosh right now and get to
That's
them at the end.
That's right.
So if you are watching this live, if you're one of the special crowd, we see you, and Lord, we see you. But we're going to
And
get
love you.
and love you. We're going to get to you at the very end, if we get to you at all, depending time wise.
I was going to say
So,
something.
Siri, we're going to time this, set timer for 45 minutes.
Oh, 45. Okay, great.
45 minutes.
And then if we go over, but at least we know where we're at.
Mm, perfect. Okay, so this is, of course, the So Auntieways podcast. It is a new venture for us. The possibilities are limitless. The magic
Yes.
is about to happen.
It's
the
like we're living in
possibilities-
Disney.
Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. We're not limitless, but the possibilities.
Oh, honey,
Oh
we're
my God.
limited. We're limited. Limited. Did I tell you about my disaster with the fucking cork in the wine bottle?
No.
Sat on it again?
No, bitch. Okay, so remember I drank a bottle of wine.
Yes.
I
Yes,
tried it again.
like a whole bottle of wine while we were having a private game night
It was half a bottle. and I finished
between
it.
between the logical family.
But so no, later in the week I tried Prosecco. But I had a problem getting the cork out. I had to Google how do you open a wine bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I sent pictures to my girl, Miss Peppa Ann. Apparently, there's like a metal cage over the wine bottle opening, and you have to take that off first. I didn't know that.
Correct.
So the cork and the metal foil and the wire got all twisted up in the bottle
Oh,
opener,
no.
and I cut my finger trying to open it. But I drank that Prosecco, bitch.
I bet you did.
After that, I needed it. But that's
and
the thing.
it's the perfect vintage for you, a prosecco, because you're a pro and you're quite secco, which means dry.
Oh, really? Am
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hot. So it's going to be that kind of podcast.
Well, it's live. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, anything can, dear.
Yeah,
And will.
Remember, I've got that folder of photos, bitch.
I've got receipts as well, darling.
Okay, but this is an audio podcast, so let's keep it, audio tasty.
I showed
Right.
I showed these two guys my booty hole right before we started this broadcast. For
And
real.
I said, honey, you ain't got a wide angle lens on that. You need to put that shit
It's
away.
True. It just looked like one brown eye blinking.
Oh, well, you know what? That will be a definite patrons only.
Yes.
Yeah. So before we get into the content of and the meat of So Auntieways, so to speak,
The carne.
the carne. If you
But the
before we
chili
get
con carne.
claro. Before we get into the carne of it, también, if you would like to contact us, our Instagrams are in the links below, our Patreon, our Venmo, our Teespring merch shop. It's all in the description below. And
that
also,
Linktree link.
the little Linktree link, and also you can get to us at soauntyways@gmail.com. Brand new today. soauntyways@gmail.com. Wow. Booby, you've been awfully quiet because Matinga and I are rampaging cows. What do you got to say for yourself?
Yeah.
Not very much. It's been an eventful
Great.
week.
Nice hearing from you.
Bye.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. That was a great
Okay.
first show.
Great first show. Go ahead, Booby.
Been real.
Been real. Go for it, Booby.
No, just been recuperating from this crazy week.
Yeah.
Work-wise and world-wise, and you know.
World
You
weary.
said that your job, which you love, I know you love your job, but you
Yes.
said like your job is really super intense, and it's been
Yes.
putting you through it.
Yeah, and but yesterday I adopted a dog. Make it really quick. Somebody found a dog wandering the streets and told my boss, and my boss said, "Let's go get this dog." So we got this dog. She turned out to be a Great Dane and Greyhound mix.
Ooh.
The sweetest dog I have ever met. I fell in love in 24 hours in a way I haven't fallen in love in a long, long time with a dog. Anyway, we advertised, and within 24 hours, we found a home for her.
Oh, that's wonderful.
For a second, I thought that you yourself adopted.
Bob was like, "Let's take a picture and bring her because if she's that sweet."
What name did you give the dog?
Zara.
Zara. Okay. Do you guys have a microchip scanner?
I don't think so. No, we don't.
Because shouldn't you like check?
Yes, but she's been homeless. The story, there's more to the story.
Okay,
She's been homeless for a very long time.
So she looked like she was out in the streets.
Yeah.
So you related to her.
Yeah. And also, like, if you say you found a sick dog, you take them to the vet, and the vet would automatically chip, and the person you adopted the dog to should take the animal straight to the vet and get that dog chipped. I mean, or see if the dog is chipped.
Right.
You know what, Miss Booby? Though, tell your boss to invest in one of those scanners.
I'm going to tell her. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea, especially since you do a rescue. That's important because you don't want to rescue just a dog that's lost and not get it back.
Dogs are lost for a long time, and it takes a while.
Honey, sometimes dogs like walk across the country to get back to their owners.
Isn't that a Disney movie?
Or maybe, but I always wonder, because I've heard stories on the news where a dog literally walked 600 miles to find its owner. But if the owner, did the owner get rid of the dog and then the dog goes back? Because this stupid mutt came back.
If you met a man. I have to comment on this one comment. Tony says, "I'm so happy that Taylor Dane finally has a home." Taylor Dane is getting roasted.
She's getting roasted, darling.
I gotta say, I'm so disappointed in Leslie Wonderman.
She apologized.
Apologize. Tell it to my heart, bitch.
It's so funny. You've met at least Miss Wonderman, have you not?
Darling, haven't we all? Yes, of course.
And me and Booby saw her in concert at Epcot Center. One year where she did an hour-long concert. She is quite wonderful. And strangely enough, for no reason out of the ordinary, I watched a live performance of Love Will Lead You Back last night, and the bitch can still sing. Yeah. But she is getting roasted for doing the benefit at Mar-a-Lago, and she was kind of saying, "Listen, I'm not political. It was a gig, da 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 da," and people were still roasting her over it. The thing is this is how I feel. Any other time, I would have been like, "Yeah, girl, but you be working." But you know what? She probably hasn't been working, and she's probably not a millionaire. Like a lot of she's Taylor Dane, yes.
Don't make any boo-boos about Miss Leslie.
But maybe she was desperate. Maybe she needed a gig.
Yeah, that's a tough bitch. When she used to work out in Brighton Beach doing shows for the Russian mob, she got her money after the show. That's a rough bitch, and she's smart. I can't say that this was a good move for her.
Not a good move.
And no. She's dead to me. Okay, love will not lead her back to me, bitch.
Don't rush me.
Don't rush me.
She's not dead to me.
Oh, she's dead to me. What about the other one, Terry Nunn?
Berlin? From Berlin?
Yeah, she got coins.
She's got coins. She could have said no.
Well, what a stupid move.
Vanilla Ice, he don't got no coins. Of course he took the gig.
But it's not necessarily about coins, okay? Terry Nunn. Well, but let's assume for a second. Terry Nunn knows if you're performing at Mar-a-Lago, you know what that is. You're not a dumb woman, okay? I don't care if you're down to a toothpick and a fucking box of Junior Mints. You don't do it. You don't perform there. I'm sorry. You know they have that song "No More Words." How about "No More Work," bitch? Because you're not getting booked at Pride no more.
I'm not making
No more.
She's Tarina's from Berlin, right? That's the chick from Berlin.
Yeah.
That's
and she was almost Princess Leia.
Take my breath away. That's the only Berlin song I know, by the way. The only one.
Yeah.
That's not true. What about "Sex"? I'm a slut.
Sing it.
I'm a slut.
I don't know that song. I know that song. But you know what? Listen.
What about the Metro? That song, the Metro, Berlin.
Sing it.
Riding on a train. I was in London rain, and you were waiting there, swimming through apologies.
I've never heard that song. Never ever. Heard that song.
And you guys are like old. You should know it.
But what I was going to say though is we have a lot of friends in the drag community. And there is, drag artists. That's a gig economy. And yes, like you have some performers like a Trixie Mattel.
That's my new drag king name, Gig Economy.
Gig economy. I like it. It's like.
Thank you. Did everybody freeze or just me? Booby, are your eyes moving? Oh shit, I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Matinga froze.
Then I will continue to make my point. Matinga, log off and log back in. Guys, it's raw. It's unedited. It's So Auntieways. What? I wonder if the audience can see her. I mean, I'm sure that they see her, but
I mean, are you?
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take her out of the stream and remove from the stream. She'll come back when she comes back. Okay, so anyway. Oh, now I can see the clock. We've been on for 11 minutes. All right. So anyway, Taylor Dane can. Oh, is she back? No, she's not back. So how did we get into that? I thought we weren't going to respond.
Tony.
Oh, Miss Tony. Right. Close the rift, Miss Tony. So, Miss Booby. Now, you mentioned that because they performed at a maskless Trump event?
Mar-a-Lago, New Year's Eve.
Okay. Oh, it was New Year's Eve, right. And who else performed there?
Berlin, Vanilla Ice, and Taylor Dane. Those were the three that I know of.
Right. Oh, she's back. Hang on. Vanilla Ice, please.
That's what I get for buying my router at Bravo Supermarket.
I see better. Okay.
But just to finish my thought super quick, I just want to say we know people that are drag queens that are famous drag queens that there's a couple out there still making money, but there's a lot of talented people out there that just do not have the opportunity to work or do not get unemployment insurance because they are gig workers, and it's tough. Like there's people that really suffering out there, and who's to say that you can't be a bigger, just because you have a hit record doesn't mean that you can pay your rent.
But she gets royalties.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
Once a year, I get a residual. All of my wonderful music I've made over the years, all of my fantastic, memorable bitch tracks, which I know y'all listen to every day. Once a year, I get a residual check for like $1.18. Okay. So I understand. I comprehend. I understand. And yet and still, I would never perform for those people ever.
I wouldn't either. But it is hard out here for a shrimp. I'm not making excuses, but Booby, we've been out here in the streets. Like sometimes you do things for money.
Girl, I know you would. Well, Miss Matinga, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If they had approached you and said, hey, listen, we'll pay you $500 to come and do like 1 minute of music, would you do it for those Trump people?
No.
Okay, right. Because you could be out there all day on the street selling your pussy, and at the end of the day, you would have made yourself an honest 20 cents, and that would have given you the self-respect and the love that you deserve.
Not enough to even buy a hot dog at Pink's.
But at that point, girl, who'd have the stomach for it? Listen, let's get into some featurettes here on So Auntieways, the podcast. So Auntieways. The first feature we would like to do is something called Girl, I'm Featuring, where we're going to discuss things that are floating our boat this week. Who would like to start? All right, I will then. Oh, Matinga, you want to go?
I could go first, but I don't mind you going first.
No, go, Matinga, go. Let's hear it. Tell us about what you are featuring.
So what I'm featuring isn't necessarily a brand new thing, but I just got into it, and It's The Stand. It is the new retelling of The Stand.
Yeah.
Yo, it is turning me. Also Veneno, but Veneno's a little bit older. And also The Stand is still going. Like, it's a week by week thing. James Marsden looking hawkish and
And
thin.
that's the new adaptation of the Stephen King novel.
It is the new adaptation of the Stephen King novel, which is like when people say epic, like that is an epic tale. And I read the book in high school, and then I remember really enjoying the first serialized version of The Stand, which came out in the early 90s, which is also a really nice take. But this is like deeper, it's darker, it's bigger. And also, apparently, Stephen King came in and rewrote the final chapter specifically for this retelling, which we haven't got to. We're not even close to it. But yo, it's like deep, like, and also I love a television show because sometimes these two queens try and get me into shows. Like they tried to get me into some weird superhero show.
The Boys.
The Boys. And it made me watch like 7 episodes of this tired ass show. And I could not get into it. Like I gave it a chance. But I love a show that like by 15 minutes in, I was like, I'm going to watch this entire thing no matter how many installments there are. I was like, oh yeah, this is all about me. And also everyone dies of
there are people
pandemic.
that maybe haven't read this book. So just be careful.
But the pandemic isn't really, it's not about the pandemic. It's about.
Don't you find that pandemic fiction is very cheerful right now? Because I actually do.
I find it, but I find it kind of like, whoa, like this is so presentient.
I know.
Stephen King.
I'd be a survivor, honey.
Oh, I might not survive the like some world-ending pandemic, but I have told you this before, and you do not believe me. I would be that one bitch that gets away from the killer or the madman or the Freddy Krueger type. Like, I'm not the bitch that dies in the lake.
You can't get down the stairs.
I get away.
In, bitch. Don't try it.
I am grabbing Miss Boo and leaving your honky ass behind.
I'm unbothered, bitch, because I got the devil on my side. Now, wait a minute.
I would survive.
I'm going to give you an amen and some pushback. Amen to The Stand. I'm also watching it. I am really enjoying it.
You're standing The Stand.
James Marsden, tasty, la motherfucking la.
Oh,
I did not recognize Greg Kinnear.
Is he playing? Is James Marsden playing the role that was played by Rob Lowe?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not playing Moon spells.
Who's playing that guy?
Oh, I forgot his name, but he was also a really mean guard on Orange Is the New Black, and he's really
yes.
good.
Yeah. He plays the one that's differently abled.
Yes.
Oh, I love that character.
Yeah. Do you know what I noticed in the last episode 4 of The Stand? Stephen King makes a cameo on a billboard at a bus stop.
He always makes cameos.
I was like, oh, that's hilarious. And of course, it stars Whoopi Goldberg as Mother Abigail of the House of Hemingford home.
Right? I mean, Whoopi doing good work.
Yeah, she's doing good work. I'm featuring that too. Yes, I agree.
Who are you watching?
No.
I know you'd love it.
Miss Booby, what are you featuring?
I am featuring, and again, it's a TV show, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
Sabrina.
It's cute. It's real cute.
Adventures. It's ending this season, doesn't it end?
Yeah, this is the last season. And they do things like, because it's really, really dark.
It's dark.
She's like, what the heaven was that? Because, hell is their heaven. For witches, and Lucifer is God, and oh my God, it's scandalous. It's a scandalous show. I don't want to give anything away, but it's a really good show,
and that's on Netflix.
That's on Netflix.
Cute little thing about Sabrina. Just this year, since it's the final year, just as a lark, the 2 aunties for one episode, they replaced them with the aunties from the original Sabrina.
That was the episode I watched.
The 90s.
I watched it last night.
I was like, yeah.
They turned it.
So good.
Into an alternate dimension.
And the original cat, the guy that did the cat voice as well. And then in the episode right before that, she's like dressed as the 1960s Sabrina with the flip. And it was like, it's cute. It's fun.
A cute show. You got to watch it.
Cute. Yeah.
So I've never seen any form of Sabrina, but if I'm correct, The 90s version was with Melissa Joan Hart.
That's right. So they took the aunties from the Melissa Joan Hart
and
show.
she turned out to be kind of insane in reality.
Did she?
No, that's you're thinking of
Clarissa Explains It All.
No, you're thinking
Clarissa
of Amanda. Amanda
Poupon, honey. I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah.
But if she's a witch, right?
Amanda Bynes.
Right. But if Sabrina's a witch, why can't she use her magic to get renewed for another season?
Okay.
Because the ultimate power in the universe is Netflix.
Oh, trust.
Learn it.
That encourages me to check out Sabrina. Actually,
you like it.
I'm lying
down.
The
boys are cute.
I'll say one thing though. I'll take the Melissa Joan Hart Harvey over this Harvey. For sure.
Is that her boyfriend?
Harvey's the boyfriend. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's also a trans. She has a friend who's a trans man.
Yeah.
Trans boy.
Oh.
Yeah. It's cute.
It's cute.
Little show.
Interesting.
It's tonally. It's very, very dark.
Very people dying left. Like the aunties kill each other all the time, and then as long as they're buried in their backyard, they resurrected. So
they'll come back. So they'll kill one of them out of spite.
Yeah,
just for like the day.
She's been singing and it's getting on her nerves.
Yeah.
So both of y'all are featuring death, is what I'm getting here. You're both featuring death and dark magic.
Dead.
And you, dear?
I'm also going to be featuring a little bit of magic. What I'm featuring this week is a book that I just finished. It's called Ray Bearer, a book by Jordan Ifueko. And I didn't realize until I finished it that it's actually a young adult novel. I didn't catch it until the very end. It's a magical fiction saga based in a fictional African-based place where there's light magic and dark magic, and it's a coming of age tale, and it's kind of it's young adult. It has elements of Hunger Games, and there's fairies, and there's African fashions, and there's who knows what. And it was really good. It's Ray Bearer by Jordan Ifueko, and it is calling out for a movie adaptation. So they were advertising it on Facebook as if you are a James Riordan fan or a Harry Potter fan, you like this book. It does.
Is it a series?
I believe it's the first in a series, and it does feature the characters are young.
Right.
For most of the book, they're children, and then sort of like teenagers. It was really well done. It was very immersive, and it was just something different. Different.
Yeah, I've noticed that you do have an interest in lead characters that are people of color. I've noticed because a couple months ago you gave me that book about the Black Mermaids.
Black Mermaids?
The Black Mermaids. that it was written by David Diggs and a bunch of different writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe those are just the ones that I mentioned. I mean, the previous magic book I read, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, she was a white bitch. You know, that's how white she was. She was invisible.
But I do appreciate you expounding upon a novel with Afrocentricities and some different points of view.
You know what? I didn't take it out for that reason. I'm not promoting it for that reason. White, black, whatever, Africa, China, Asia, Antarctica, House of Milan, whatever. It's all good, darling.
What was that song that from the 90s? Not This
Motherland.
Is Africa. Motherland. Oh my God. You like literally just took it from my head.
Because I'm the Ray Bearer, darling.
The Motherland.
Yeah.
So good.
Throughout the universe, we are all as one.
Mother, father, sister, brother,
and we will all be free. Oh yeah, that's a jam. That's a jam. I used to hear that when I would go take my exercise classes at Crunch, my yoga, and I was wearing my Blonde Ambition t-shirt, and I wasn't doing something wrong. I wasn't doing something correct. And the instructor was like, hey, excuse me, Breathless Mahoney, this way. Oh, how dare you. Because
I could totally see you like just breaking out into the WAP in the back line. Just like, fuck it, just like feeling it and not paying attention.
was feeling it, honey. Yes. So, listeners, that's what we are featuring this week on So Auntieways. Now, shall we move into some shall we move into some unedited? Shall we move into some dark territory and get into a segment called "Oh, bitch, I don't see that"?
Bring it.
I would like to. What I'm not featuring this week.
Okay.
What are you not featuring this week? I wonder.
Bitch, what are you not seeing?
I am not seeing and I'm not featuring treason and sedition and storming the Capitol and, stabbing a knife into the heart of democracy.
Thank you.
I'm not seeing it.
Treason is the reason for the season, honey. I'm not seeing that either.
Yeah.
It was shocking.
It was fucked up.
And the details are coming out now more and more of just how violent it was.
Yeah.
Like they dragged an officer on his face across the steps. I mean, crazy stuff.
And an officer got killed after the fire.
Yeah, young, lovely.
And five people died, and it's a tragedy. But one of those people, one of the people that died was shot in the Capitol, like right outside of the room where they do the voting and stuff like that. And so like there was a death inside that building. And yeah, of course, if this had been a Black Lives Matter protest, dozens of protesters would have been killed. But these people get to storm the Capitol, just sight unseen. They're not hardly touched. Yeah, there's been 50 arrests and other people
were let into the building.
They were let into the building. Cops were injured. There's that shot of the cop being pressed to death and blood coming out of his mouth. And so, some of those people, like the guy that put his foot on Nancy Pelosi's desk and the person caught taking Nancy Pelosi's lectern, they've been caught already. They will face federal charges. But you know what? What about Giuliani? What about Donald Trump? They're going to walk away scot-free. He is the reason he incited this violence. And it rarely, people say, oh, it was heartbreaking and it was this and it was that. And we can throw platitudes at it. But like I sat there actually thinking, my God, is this the end of the American dream? What is this? What's happening here? And also, where is the National Guard? Finally, they came in when Mike Pence finally had to give the order, because the order never came from Donald Trump.
This didn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
It didn't happen by accident. There's been chatter about this openly. We all knew this was going to happen. I think that, the Defense Department told the National Guard, don't get involved, don't shoot. They were let into the building. I mean, these things don't just happen. This was coming and we all knew it was coming.
Right.
It was shocking and disgusting. And I'm also quite over everyone drooling over that idiot in the fucking Chewbacca outfit with the red, white, and blue paint.
Oh, the queens, the memes.
I mean,
honey.
Nah, he's gross, bitch.
Yeah, arrested already. There was one cute meme where it was anarchist starter. It was one cute meme with the anarchist starter kit where they put like where you could buy everything he had on. I thought that was actually clever and funny. Yeah. But fuck him, fuck this dude. Yeah.
It was shocking.
And he was banned from Grindr.
Oh no. What about Scruff?
I don't know about Scruff.
What about Parlay?
Parlay has been taken off of Google Play and the Apple Store.
Yeah. Well, I think that is an incredible thing to not be seeing, and I completely agree. I want to make 2 points. Yes, if those were people of color, they would have been mowed down before they even got into the building.
Yeah.
So that's some bullshit right there. 2, I think that they're disgusting. I think we need to look beyond their actions and look at what has fomented this. Why are they so angry? And I don't give a shit if these motherfuckers go to jail, okay? Why is there so much division? Where is this anger and hatred coming from? It doesn't come out of thin air. I think, as always, of course, it's propaganda and stochastic terrorism and all of that. It always comes down to money, honey. The problem isn't black or white or gay or straight. As always, it's rich and poor, and they have got these people fooled.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I empathize, but that anger is coming from somewhere. And I think until we figure out what that is and address it, this is going to happen again. This is going to happen again.
And
hopefully not during the inauguration, which they're planning on doing.
Well, I hope that I hope that security is a little bit tighter. So
security will definitely be tighter.
Security.
I think that the security.
You're not on the list.
You know, Nancy Pelosi was like, security.
I mean, but yeah, I'm sure it was. Oh, it's yeah. But let's also not forget that very same day we took Georgia in the Senate.
That's right.
So let's remember
Warnock
that.
and Ossoff, we control both houses.
Yes.
And that will actually now be the grease.
Three houses, Congress, Senate, and the House of Goonies. Learn
and the House of Goonies Trust.
Hello.
And also, but that will be the grease to help President-elect Biden, get his agenda through, because the Republicans. Because I remember them saying when Obama was in power, that their job was to stand in the way of everything, not let him accomplish anything. Right. And they really tried to after the first 2 years, because I believe that the first 2 years it was the same deal for Obama. Didn't we have all houses?
All I know is it started with a big bailout of the banks, and I was pissed.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like now Biden will be able to actually get some stuff accomplished.
Good. Excellent point. Booby, what is your contribution to Bitch I Don't See That this week?
I was going to mention the same thing. Just how tough it's been this week, but I do want to point out that Arnold Schwarzenegger put out a speech just today that was so beautifully said and so beautifully written, and he was discussing how this storming of the Capitol was very similar to Kristallnacht in Germany. And that
there's probably some hateful drag queen in Germany called Kristallnacht.
Kristallnacht.
There is.
It.
Actually, in Hedwig,
boy, she kills.
In Hedwig, the not Hedwig herself, but the backup singer, and the boyfriend, used to be a drag queen named Kristallnacht.
Oh.
Wow.
She was the last Jewess in the Balkans.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So you are not seeing his speech? Is that what you're saying?
No, I am seeing his speech. So because the way he said it, he was like, "But now is the time not to give up hope." Yeah, and that we will shine again as as a nation. I
know he's going to shine again the way they oil him up with them muscles, Heidi.
Back then. He don't look like that now.
He's an old man.
A man is a man. A man is a man. And that's going to move us along to my contribution to Bitch I Don't See That, which is going to start with a girl I was featuring, mini plug. So, Matinga, remember you had given me that Jackie Beat t-shirt a few months ago? It was
it's a cute one.
The fabulous of her made-up face, and it's autographed, and it's very, very, very large.
I'm glad you like it.
I threw it on the other day, and I went to the supermarket where my differently abled boyfriend works. Okay?
Yes.
And honey, proud as could be with my Jackie Beach shirt and my unisex hoodie all open so everybody could see it. And he saw me, right? He saw me, and he did like a double take, okay, about the shirt. Because it's a very draggy shirt.
It's a super draggy shirt.
And I was wearing my cutie mask, and he was wearing whatever mask they give him at the fucking rehab center. And we locked eyes over our masks, and I felt an electric charge in the air between us. So I was featuring that. But what I was not seeing, did you know, and this may shock you, I saw an item in the grocery store called pulled pork.
Yeah. Pulled pork.
That is a real thing. And I want to say I saw that and I got nauseous. Why? I don't know what it is. I didn't look it up. It just sounds disgusting. Pulled pork.
It's
amazing.
My God. Yeah, it's so good.
It just sounds
it's like picadillo.
What?
Picadillo. Like picadillo, which is a Spanish, but like it was probably the barbecue, like Texas version, because that's the version I see in the supermarket. That's like a honey bourbon. It's like the American version of pulled pork.
I was just
it's sweet.
I was like, oh, say it isn't so. And as I walked away from the meat department, well, here comes my boyfriend again. He said to me, "What's the matter, baby? Don't you want to pull some pork?" I was like,
"You're such a liar."
Which
you
part?
Are a liar.
Okay, that last part was made up.
Yes.
Or was it magical thinking?
You know what?
Magical thinking.
Magical thinking. But you know what? I'm happy that Sloth from the Goonies grew up and is now working at that supermarket.
His name is not Sloth. I don't know what his name is, but we are.
His name is.
You know what? His name doesn't matter. We've got the kind of connection. We don't need names, bitch. That's trifling.
Mike, and this is not shade at all. It's not shade, but there is this guy out there who puts out music, like funky, weird, sick music. That's hilarious. His name is Mark Rebele. Has anyone heard of Mark Rebele? You look so big with that mustache. You are giving me Mark Rebele. It's very. He puts out songs like "Hit That Weed," or he has one about
So you're calling me a drug addict?
Whip out those big old titties. La 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 la. Oh, he's amazing.
Guy.
Mark Rebele.
Yes. Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
I love him so much.
If you are listening to this audio podcast,
this is an audio podcast.
Let me explain. Yes, I have a bit of a caterpillar mustache because now it's going on 3.5 weeks now that I haven't shaved. I'm going to make a confession. You shouldn't take directions from the internet, but I tried putting Rogaine on it to see, like with that. I bought some at Kirkland or whatever it's called, and I say, "Oh, will this make my mustache grow because I'm follicularly challenged?" No, but it gave me one hell of a rash like 3 days ago, so I'm not going to be doing that again. And this may be the last we see of this sad mustache because if this is it after 3.5 weeks,
no, you got to give it. You got to give it a good 6 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like how it feels. All crunchy.
I don't either, but you get past it. You have to get past it.
I mean, I feel like you're lucky because like this is like 6 days. Hair is growing out of my butthole. It's like the older I get, it's growing out of my ears. I'm starting to look like a fucking macrame planter.
Wow.
It just sucks, man.
Well, I do have the urge to stick a fern in your face. So let's move on to another very special segment here on So Auntieways.
Yay!
This is a segment we're calling Just the Facts.
Remember that episode of Facts of Life when Mrs. Garrett got caught stealing?
We are going to quickly give the high points of an episode of The Facts of Life 1980s television sitcom. Do we want to set a little timer for this, or do we trust ourselves to keep this brief?
I think
let's just keep it brief, but but cute but brief.
Yeah, and it's sort of a randomly selected episode. So
it's episode 13 of the first season.
Episode 13 of season 1 of The Facts of Life. For those that don't know, this
and
is
how many seasons did it run?
I think 7.
Yeah, girl.
Really?
So this is early. This
is early days. This is
really early.
Super early days. For those that may not have seen this show, I don't know how that's possible. Maybe you're, Tunisia or something like some of our viewers.
Or born in 2000.
Oh, yeah. Because, honey, if you were born in 2000, you're already 20
You've
years
never
old.
heard of this.
That just made my arthritis flare up, girl. That was not nice. Okay, so it's about these girls at a boarding school in Peekskill. Girls in Peekskill, New York. And their house mother, Mrs. Garrett.
Yes.
I also want to say that at this point, this early in the show, they also had a headmaster named Mr. Bradley.
That I would have.
That dick bitch. What?
It was Steve Lawler is the actor.
Brad Lawler.
John Lawler.
John Lawler.
He was giving you daddy.
Yeah, but he wasn't over.
I've been like,
he probably had a flabby body.
No, he didn't have a flabby body. It was flat, and he had a flat booty. But he was the only man in Peekskill. Okay, and I'd be like, yeah, honey, call me Tootie and give me one of them Eastland outfits, or call me Mrs. Garrett and bend me over the stove, bitch. Whatever, you a man.
So a couple cute points about the Facts of Life.
Lockdown has been really hard on me.
I bet.
Clearly.
I'll call you the headmaster.
Alan Thicke wrote the theme song.
Sing it.
And the theme, there's a place you gotta go, and the Facts of Life. And also, I don't remember, because the singer was that famous soap opera actress Gloria something. Yeah, and she was married to Alan Thicke at the time. But in that first season, Miss Garrett sings part of the song.
And the lyrics are different. It's
and
like,
then you know the whole.
So what you there about, but dick is what you care about.
It's Trust.
Yeah.
And they make a very sexual joke. She makes a sexual joke about
Moby Dick. I was like,
Yeah,
sexual.
Mrs. Garrett.
I was like, Mrs. Garrett, girl.
intimately.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, honey.
And it's that first season. I had forgotten that there are a lot of girls on that first season. You know, eventually the show kind of simmers down to the top 5. But like at this point, there's like 11 or 12. Like there's like the top 3 or 4.
Too many.
But there's too many, including Helen Hunt and Molly Ringwald.
But that's Helen Hunt. That was like a walk-on. That was
she was a cameo guest.
Yeah,
But honey, it's still Academy Award winning.
She was young.
She was super young.
Have you seen her lately?
That's what I asked in an episode. I mean, she has some work.
She got some nerve.
Honey, she looks like she's been worked.
Okay, so in a nutshell, this episode is about there's a clique of girls at Eastland that call themselves the group.
The group.
Blair is in. Sue-Ann is just getting in. What's the dark-haired child? Nancy?
Tootie.
Nancy's not in and she's upset, so she's going to get plowed by her boyfriend, Roger. And Tootie and Natalie are just too young and whatever.
But Tootie is being, first of all, she's being a freaking little snitch.
She's
Yeah, and snitches get stitches, baby. Look at honey hiding behind the couch. Yeah, honey, I would chase you, honey, on those roller skates. I would get you. And then, and she's being so annoying.
Yeah,
I thought she was actually very entertaining and sassy. She's basically they're sort of setting her up as like the gossip monger of Eastland,
right?
And
she's like hiding behind couches.
And Tootie and Mindy Cohn, who plays Natalie, are already a team, but they're definitely second string in this particular cast still.
But
like,
you know,
they're not the main characters.
Do you know why their friendship works so well? Like in this sea of like privileged waspy bitches, you got the one black girl and the fat Jewish girl together. Like, okay, that kind of makes sense because they're on the outs.
And they're good together.
Yeah, they're really good together.
They're good together.
So the group, as it turns out, is Tumpy and Bootsy and Pitsy and Mitzi.
And Stumpy and Hooey and Louie.
Poopy.
And Blair and Sue-Ann go to their dorm room for the most tired party ever.
Yeah, but first, like the whole thing is like, you know, first of all, Blair and Sue-Ann come in, you know, Blair with the most beautiful hair in her blazer, her mom jeans tucked into her boots, looking rather stylish, darling.
Ravishing.
Ravishing, looking so good. And she's like, oh, it's a secret, but I'm gonna tell you, yes, you're in. And she's like, but what's the other secret? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Unbeknownst to them, Miss Tootie's hiding under the couch, but eventually she bugs off. And you know, finally Blair says, listen, part of what we do in the group is Blair unscrews a fake lipstick, and inside that fake lipstick is a joint.
Marijuana.
Yeah. And you know, so this is what we're gonna do. And she's like, have you smoked with them? Not yet, but this is what we're both gonna do tonight. And though it's innocent and it's, you know, it's there, you know, it's the 80s, I still think it was a rather big move for this show. Like, because they actually show them smoking.
Hang on, Booby, stop hitting your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Go ahead, girl.
And so yes, you know, they do go off to this party.
But in real life, you know that those fucking cast members, those girls were stoned every goddamn night.
Stoned.
Yeah. Honey,
stone cold.
Honey, probably coked up. Is the
exactly
disco, the Odyssey in LA, bitch.
The Tootie's the one getting everybody stoned. But anyway. But so they go to so this is part of this stuck up moneyed group. And the thing that they do is they smoke pot, and they try and sort of telegraph that pot is a bad thing, a desperate thing, because the head girl of the group is like, oh yeah, I'm selling my stereo. Oh, but this is a super expensive German stereo. Stumpy, whatever her name is, Tubby. And she's like, yeah, I'll sell it real cheap for $200 because I want to get a lid. It's really good stuff. And it's like trying to telegraph, oh, you know, it gets desperate and you start selling this stuff. And it's like, you know, honey, I would have walked in, I would have been like,
well, eventually Sue-Ann does.
Yeah. And Sue-Ann is the one that actually does. But mind you, busybody Miss Tootie, like learns their secret knock and busts into their room. But and mind you,
They're tired pot party.
They're tired pot party.
The three of them.
And she notices the bong on the table. The room must smell like marijuana too.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't notice that the what is that smell in the air? But she's like, oh, what's this bong? What's this thing for? Oh, it's a bong. It's you put jelly beans in it, and they shoo her out of the room.
She's also supposed to be like 11 or 12.
Innocent.
And these girls are they're cloistered. These girls are cloistered. I mean, Helen Hunt, wasn't this just after she did that TV movie where she's on angel dust and jumps out a window?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe that episode of Bionic Woman she did where she's like a space child.
Her career took a swerve. So at the party is Blair and Sue-Ann. Blair says, no, I'm not going to smoke. Sue-Ann gets high. Tumpy stoned out of her face. Helen Hunt kind of high. And then a girl who can't speak, who was really pretty.
Yeah, she was.
Actually.
But she can't even talk.
So then Tootie and Natalie go, they buy a bunch of bongs, and then Mrs. Garrett gets involved. Because they bought one for her.
Right, because they think that it is actually to put jelly beans in. And, you know, imagine like you go to a record store. It doesn't matter how old you are. They're going to sell you a bong because they're not selling you pot. They're not selling you something illegal.
Right.
They're, you know, so they'll sell you they'll sell. And so they buy a bong. So because what Tootie and Natalie want to do is they want to start their own group. And so she goes to buy bongs for her, Natalie, and she brings one to Mrs. Garrett. Now, mind you, right before that, Sue-Ann had gotten really stoned and clearly like tripped out and had a bad experience, and then wrote a 20-page book report on Moby Dick that she thought was the shit, darling.
Innovative.
And she's like, and so they're headed off to class. She's like, Mrs. Garrett, would you just take a look at my book report? And of course, it's like the most stoned bullshit drama.
Like one sentence per page.
One sentence per page. But the reaction from Miss Garrett and the girls is hilarious. It's actually hilarious. Miss Molly Ringwald's in this scene.
Yeah.
And it really made me laugh. Like I busted out.
Sue-Ann had a really bad trip because she was like, oh my God, Blair, I hallucinated that I got written off the show next season.
Trust.
Booby, how does the episode come to its exciting dramatic climax?
Well, Mrs. Garrett reports this behavior of this group to the lovely piece. What's his name again?
Headmaster, whatever.
The headmaster.
Bradley, the only man in Peekskill.
The only man. And he performs an inspection.
Oh, yeah, he do.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you need to do like a cavity search, Mr. Bradley.
But Miss Garrett does not specifically call out Blair or Sue-Ann.
But she knows.
But she knows. She specifically calls out the girls, the other girls in like another dorm. I can ring their
right.
Yeah.
What is that noise? The timer. The timer. God has spoken to us.
God has spoken and said, "This show is shit.
Yeah,
it's gotta end." No, okay, but I will say that. So you know, the headmaster, those girls get expelled, like all of them. Helen Hunt, Tubby, and Bitsy and Stubby, and all of them.
Yeah,
and you know, and then now, but that's a different dorm. So then he's doing a search of the main dorm where the Facts of Life girls are, and he's going through their shit. It's going through their shit, their personal shit. And Miss Garrett, I think it's a testament to how cool Mrs. Garrett is. And this is why the girls love her so much. Says, you know what? This is an invasion of their privacy, to which he rightly says, fuck it. This is my school. There's no illicit activity happening. I need to know what these girls are doing. And he like goes through their shit. And Tootie, for some reason, has like a fucking ton of bean dip. 30 things of bean dip
and a hot plate. Oh, why? Because she's the black one. Why she's
the black girl?
That?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, why is it bean dip? Like, is it because she's the black girl? Like, I was like, that's weird.
And of course, in the end, even though Sue-Ann smokes, she gets away with it. They don't get busted. And in a deleted scene, Natalie turns around and shits out a balloon of heroin. It was crazy.
And honey, then they all get high.
She was a mule the whole time.
Yep.
Whole.
Well, that's the facts.
That's what they called her, like off camera. Whole. Come over here.
Hole number one.
But what was so amazing was that the balloon of heroin came out in the shape of a poodle. It was really weird.
Wow.
She's so talented. So that is just the facts. I don't know how many minutes that was, but we don't care.
You know what? You know what? Like I will say that it was a daring take for for like 1982, 83, whenever this came out, because the show, like you never saw people actually imbibe drugs on TV at that point. It was implied, but like they actually showed it. They showed what it looked like. They showed
they're like they're smoking.
They're getting high, yeah. And I thought and you know what? Like, I think that, like, as a kid, if you were watching that show and you were whatever, 13, 14, 15, like, you could either be like, wow, I'm not going to smoke pot because that's wrong. Or you could be like, yo, I'm going out and buying a bong today.
Right. Yeah. I'm getting a lid of that Hawaiian, honey.
Yeah, because I would have been like, I'm getting me a bong.
Right. At that point, I would have laughed because I'd have known that I have much of a, well, let me know.
Yeah. Indeed. Well, I think that's bringing us close to the conclusion of this Blair of the premiere episode of So Auntieways. And I probably said it in the beginning, but I'm going to say it again now. Hit our link tree in the description below for our merch and our Patreon and our Venmo. And you can hit us up on Instagram or get to us at soauntieways@gmail.com. And the links to the podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all these places where you can find this podcast will be in the description and the link tree. Right. It's going to be all over the place. If you are a patron and supporter, you can join us next time to view and witness the live taping. Everybody else will get the audio the next day, but that's one of the perks of being a supporter is you get exclusive access to us and our magic, and you can be in the audience and watch it. Matinga wants to say something.
And if I may, I just want to shout out the people that I do see in the room: Bernadette T, Tony R, Saul L. Darity, Ursula Gulo. Thank you for participating with us today. You know we love you.
And Miss Pepper Ann is in the audience. There are people that are like watching that are not showing up in the feed here, just on the down low. So if you want to be
coming to the party,
right? And by the way, that could be as little as $1 per month, and all the proceeds are going to go to Miss Matinga's webbed foot surgery, which I think is called. Is it called sciadactyly? Sciadactyly when you have webbed appendages?
I know dactyl is in there because that's for duck.
Like polydactyl,
right?
It's like multiple toes,
right?
Right. So she's a webadactyl doll.
It's hyperbole sciadactyly.
Oh, say it isn't so.
Yes.
So should we have some kind of like catchy catchphrase to end the show? How about
So Auntieways?
So Auntieways.
So Auntieways. Auntieways.
Auntieways. Singing like Charles Nelson Riley.
Let him do his thing.